Right, it looks as though there is more movement in the transfer market for Crystal Palace, but another one leaving and no more coming in at the moment. My name is Stephen Dawes. This is Palace to the Core. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest Crystal Palace news, views and reviews. And I'm talking about Jordan Ayew. Now, I've mentioned before that there was interest in him from a couple of clubs, including Saudi Arabia. It looks as though Leicester City have managed to secure his future. They've put in a bid of 8 million, 5 million with add-ons, and it looks he's going to Leicester today to have his medical. So if all goes well, he will probably be a Leicester player, maybe even before the game on Saturday. So he may not even be the squad in the squad for Saturday. I don't think he'll be in the squad anyway, if the news is correct. So it's a big shame, I think, in some ways. I mean, it's a good bit of business to get £8 million for Jordan Ayew. That's a great bit of business, but also slightly sad, because I think that he's one of those players who is very underrated. You know, he worked incredibly hard for the team. Yeah, he wasn't the most prolific striker, but he worked incredibly hard. I think he had a good, he was good on the ball. He was good at keeping the ball and things like that. I think he was a very underrated player at Palace. Obviously, under Glasner, I don't think he was going to have regular play. I think that we saw that last season, really, where he wasn't played very much, apart from when there was injuries. So I think that was going to be his future at Palace, and so he's decided to go to Leicester, where he will probably get first team football quite regularly. So that's good news for him, and I do wish him all the best. It is a shame though, because I think he's one of those workhorses like James MacArthur, who you don't know that you miss him until he's gone. But anyway, hopefully we won't miss him, and he'll be on his way. So it looks like that is going to be done and dusted soon. Also, a little bit on John Textor. Now, he has apparently been talking to Everton quite a lot about buying a stake in the club, and it looks as though it's going to be done by the end of the week. If that's the case, obviously he has to try and get rid of his shares in Palace, which is 45% at the moment. And it looks like there are a couple of potential buyers in the mix. One is a Middle East buyer. One is a sports celebrity-backed US group. And also the current American shareholders within Palace are also considering buying his shares off him, although they haven't tabled an official bid yet. So I'm not entirely sure whether they've got the funds to do that or not. I can't imagine Steve Parish going for a Middle Eastern owner, but you never know, perhaps it might happen. I think probably the most likely avenue of these ones would be either the sports celeb-backed US group or the current American shareholders. I think if one of those comes through with the right amount of money, I imagine they'll probably go for that. When they spoke to Steve Parish about it, he said that he wants to go to a club where he's got more control over what happens, and he said that he's not going to try and stop him from going, but if he wants to leave, they'll try and help him do it. So it looks like he is going to be going inevitably. It just depends on how soon and who he can sell his shares to. So that's another thing going on. I didn't mention it yet, actually, but there's also news on the stadium, if you haven't seen it yet, and that is there is now official approval for the building work. The planning permission now officially approved by Croydon Council, which is fantastic. So it means they can get started on things. The only stumbling block at the moment is one of the houses they have to knock down in order to build the stand hasn't yet been purchased. So they are now in the process of starting a compulsory purchase order for that house. The little bit of land that Sainsbury's had, that's also been agreed to be sold now to Crystal Palace, which is great. So it looks like all systems are go, and I think as soon as that house is bought, then things will start moving quite quickly. So that's good news from that point of view as well. The last thing I wanted to talk about is Marc Guehi. Now, according to Sky Sports very recently, they've said that the situation regarding Marc Guehi to Newcastle is edging closer. Now, I think Palace want about 70 million for him. Newcastle have bid about 65, so they're only £5 million away. Whether they'll step up and do that extra 5 million, or whether I don't know whether Crystal Palace might negotiate down. I don't know what the situation is, but according to Sky Sports, that is edging closer. So I don't really want us to lose both centre backs in one window. I really don't want to do that. I know Steve Parish says that he doesn't see a situation where he'll lose both centre backs, but it looks like it might well happen. So hopefully we'll be able to get one of those players that we've been looking at in through the door before the transfer window slams shut, because otherwise, I know we have got cover at the back, but I'm not entirely convinced with the cover we've got at the back. I would like to bring in perhaps one or two players at the back there to shore up the defence a bit more. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And that's how it is so far. Should be the press briefing tomorrow with Oliver Glasner, which I'll bring that to you as well. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section on what I've been talking about, and hopefully we can have some more news of players coming in this time and not leaving. I'll see you next time.